We're live. Countdown. Hello, I'm Willie Bragg. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show, where I like to discuss politics. Well, some people want to bring the Cold War back in many ways. So I will play this and explain. That was the anthem of the former Soviet Union. And I played that anthem for this reason. And it comes down to this. There is a man by the name of Mark Burns in South Carolina in the 4th Congressional District. He is a televangelist from the Harvest Praise and Worship Center, and he's running for Congress in the Republican primaries right now. And this is what he had to say. And I will share a few words afterward, momentarily. Give me a moment here, and we will get to the meat and potatoes of what was being said. Give me a moment. All right, here we go.
I'm going to tell you right now, David, when I'm elected, I am going to help formulate and re-energize a committee called HUAC. HUAC is the House of Un-American Activities Committee. This is a committee. It is not a new committee. It was a committee that was during the time that existed in the 40s and the 50s. But it's a committee that its sole purpose is to identify Americans, media, elected officials who are doing un-American activities and to hold them for treason here in America.
Okay. Yes. That is Mark Burns. He's running for the U.S. House of Representatives in the 4th Congressional District down in South Carolina. So let me give you a little bit of background on this guy, Mark Burns. And it's this. As I said, he's a televangelist running for the U.S. House of Representatives in the 4th Congressional District. And he is mimicking Cold War in 1950s style Cold War Red Scare hysteria about the HUAC that he's talking about recreating. He's talking about recreating the House Un-American Activities Committee, which was established in 1938 to basically track down fascists and communists who are trying to bring down America. That was the purpose of HUAC as it was established in 1938. After World War II, its focus was to go strictly after communists, and what they would define as communist sympathizers. And that could mean anything, and that's pretty damn vague. It could mean people who sent for the Soviet Union at the time. It could mean people who were, even if they were anti-communist themselves. It could mean moderate socialists or social democrats. It could mean New Deal liberals. Anybody that was deemed as un-American were fair game. And this is what Mark Burns wants to bring back. They basically they dismantle or discontinue or abolish HUAC in 1969. He wants to bring it back. And this guy is so right-wing. That at North Carolina, down in North Carolina, here in North Carolina, or, he was talking about Bernie Sanders. And Mark Burns talking about how Bernie Sanders needs to be, quote unquote, saved. Why? Because he's Jewish? There's a little bit of anti-Semitism in this guy too. So this guy, and what is crazy is that he's arguing for a return to the 1950s Red Scare hysteria, which basically would mean that of all people to be basically in favor of that. Because let me tell you, many people who were participants in this Red Scare campaign, many of them thought that African Americans seeking racial equality was some sort of communist plot. For example, after Senator Joe McCarthy died in 1958. I think it was 1958 he died. And that same year, the John Birch Society was founded. And many of the folks from the John Birch Society viewed civil rights back then as a communist plot, part of the international communist conspiracy. To tell you how problematic the organization is, one of the major founders of the John Birch Society was a Holocaust denier, a major Holocaust denier by the name of Revilio Oliver. And Revilio Oliver, this is important. Okay, hold on a second here. I'll try not to be too long-winded. This motherfucker here was one of the founders of the John Birch Society, Revelia Oliver. He was the one that came up with the concept of Holocaust revisionism or Holocaust denial, claiming that the Holocaust never happened. And he was your typical, anti-New Deal, anti-communist, anti-racial equality, and of course anti-Semite too. I mean, he was the whole package. And he would end up later on joining a group called the National Alliance with William Pierce, who was the author of the Turner Diaries, a neo-Nazi organization. So to let you know how toxic some of this rhetoric is, does he really, really want to be in league with someone like this motherfucker here? The man that wrote the Turner Diaries. I mean, is that really who Mark Burns wants to keep company with? So that I just asking. I mean, But anyway, so who does he want to go after when this HUAC is created? Who does he want to go after in the year 2023 when they supposedly take over Congress? I'm talking about the Republican majority. I personally don't think HUAC will be created, tell you the truth. But let's say if it happens, who would he like to go after? I mean, does he want to go after, Black Lives Matter, Antifa? Who does he want to go after? Does he want to go after labor unions? Does he want to go after, fellow members of Congress? What, he wants to go after the squad? I mean, he wants to go after Hollywood. I mean, he wants to go after CNN people, because these people think that CNN is part of the, socialist revolution or what have you. That's how silly these people are. But anyway, I just wanted to go and talk about that because I said, and I had to add a little bit of banter with the Soviet Union theme to this. So anyway, what a nutcase. And I will say that. Here on the chat line, we have Al Tyrell. Oh, no, we don't need anything like that. No, we don't need the return of HUAC. I'm an old-fashioned civil libertarian, and I like the idea of people having their own political ideology without the state interfering and criminalizing your thoughts, or even to some extent your activities, as long as you're not harming anybody else. So, and to me, it matters not what side of the political fence you're on. So anyway, that's going to be it for me right now. I have to go to work in a little bit. I'm going to probably make another quick video, and I'm going to let you know to please subscribe to this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, I urge you to go ahead and create your own platform, because we are the muckrakers of our time. And of course, remember, we have a class struggle to wage, a class war, that is, and we're all Julian Assange. And until next time, I will conclude by saying music.